Taking things for granted is one of the easiest ways to be dissatisfied with life. We'll focus a lot on our future and what we want, and that's not a problem, but it does become one when we don't balance it with gratitude. Now, a lot of influencers will talk about gratitude and how they have a gratitude journal, often using it as part of their morning routine where they will write down 3 things that they're grateful for. They will swear by the positive effects that it has just by writing down things that they're grateful for. But there is a lot of logic behind why doing this actually is really good for you. By writing things down, our brains are able to process it. It gives our brains an opportunity to actually focus on what we've just written. And this is why writing things that you're grateful for really does work. You are actually highlighting something that's positive in your life. It gives your brain something to focus on, so therefore you can actually start to think a bit more positively about your life. For someone who might be struggling with negative thoughts and a sense of disassociation, this will be difficult, but it can be practiced. You can start with the simple things like, I'm grateful for waking up in a warm bed, or I'm grateful for having a roof over my head. And especially with the current political climate and another war breaking out, I think it's really important for us to be able to say, I get to wake up in a safe place, because this isn't something to be overlooked. These are things that we shouldn't overlook, but we do because life sometimes just goes that way and we don't really get time to look at these things. So incorporating this into one of your routines can actually do a lot of good for you, because it gives you time to focus on things that you didn't quite look at before. You can see where you are actually making progress and you can appreciate it. Soon you'll start to see that life isn't so bad for you. You have a perspective that's now changed because you can start to see the value in some of the things that you currently have right now. You're seeing a lot more good stuff than you are bad. Now, that's not to say that we're ignoring the bad stuff, but there is a lot more you can do with hope and a positive mindset than there is having a negative one. And by being more grateful, you can actually have a better understanding of being more compassionate towards others. You can see that actually where you are right now is actually in quite a good place, and you can see the progress that you've been making and understand why someone else might want to also achieve that. Because by learning to be more grateful, you also have the opportunity to reconnect with people and strengthen bonds. For myself, I can be thankful that I still have my grandparents around, and that in itself I already know is a privilege. Now, it's not about comparison and saying that I've got this and you haven't. It's about being able to understand that you do have a level of privilege and you can work with that. Actually, recognizing your privilege, I believe, makes you more humble, because you can see the struggles that someone else has. And by doing this, by recognizing this in someone else, it can make them feel seen. And by seeing someone else's struggles, it can make them feel more connected, more valued, more appreciated. And I think that's something that we all would like to feel. Connecting with someone else is just part of us, whether that's in friends or in a relationship or in family. We want to be seen, we want to feel valued. And so by being grateful, this can teach you to see the value in things and then also recognize the value in other people. However, we don't always get it right. However, practicing gratitude does require some consistency. I realised I wasn't practicing it anymore because I found myself becoming quite annoyed at my situation. I found myself at one point hating work. I didn't want to go, I didn't enjoy it, I hated it so much, and it ended up making me so negative. The problem with that is that I also then brought home a rain cloud after every shift, and bringing that home to other people, it's just not going to go down well. You're going to end up having tensions in your relationships, and that in itself is going to make you feel even worse. What I had forgotten is that, yeah, okay, I don't quite enjoy my job. There are some negative parts of it. However, the good thing is that if I finish my job, I finish my shift, I've clocked out. It's not the end of the world. In my job, I'm not having to make life-changing decisions. And also, I work in a job where there's other people doing pretty much similar tasks to what I'm doing, but they're paid less because they're a different role. And I happen to be paid more because of the title that I have. And that's something that maybe someone else is wishing that they could achieve. Now, this isn't about playing down stresses, but it is about being grateful for the position that you're in, being able to see the privileges that it does give you. because if you ignore these privileges, then it doesn't make it very fair for everyone else. And again, I want to reiterate, this isn't about playing down stresses and ignoring the struggle, but it does put things into a better perspective. Because the reality is, if I hate my job that much, I can still move. I'm not locked into doing that job for the rest of my life. There are other opportunities, but it just depends on the factors that I'm willing to compromise on. The most important thing is that if you're not happy with something, you need to make a decision. You need to take action. And sometimes taking the action is just recognizing to be grateful for where you are. And one of the final points of why gratitude is important to practice, being grateful can make you more inspired. Because what it's doing is now replacing those feelings of disappointment. It's replacing it with something that gives you the ability to grow. You can have more hope, more optimism, more joy. Suddenly you find yourself giving more to others because it motivates us to do better. You might think that gratitude is just about accepting where you are, but there's a lot to be said in recognizing where you are, because what you might forget is that you did also have a struggle to get to that point. It makes you see where you are now and makes you go after more. It makes you believe that you do have good things in your life. So why can't you have more good things? You can see in yourself that you are deserving. You see what you have, and that activates in you something that makes you want others to have it too. So I want you to go out and get a notebook, or maybe just get the notes up in your phone and write down 3 things that you're grateful for. And I can guarantee that if you do this daily, you will feel much more uplifted. And if you're looking to create a morning routine and you don't really know where to start, then you can have a look at mine. It's simple. It takes 1 hour and it doesn't require you getting up at 5 a.m. So make sure you click on the next video and I'll see you there.